What's going on, guys? This is Joe Tallarico, and you're listening to the Aha Moment podcast, where we dive deep into closing that mind-action gap of idea to execution and all the little nit and grit that's in between.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5'10", 180 pounds from
Mr. Bag of Donuts! I hit yellow on that too. So that's where we need to be.
That was clutch.
Yeah,
that was clutch. So I am here with none other than, I never know whether to say Curran or Curran.
Either or is fine.
Either works really.
The Curran.
I
usually say Curran.
Do you?
But it's not Curran. It's Curran.
Why would you do that?
I just think it's funny to say Curran.
I had a friend in college. His last name was Curran, and he pronounced it Curran. So I think that's why.
How is it spelled? The same way?
I think so. I believe so.
Poser.
We can ride with
Either that or I was always saying it wrong, and he just didn't give it credit.
Didn't correct you.
He's like,
Either way.
This dude just keeps fucking calling me Curran.
Yeah, it actually.
Yeah, I usually let it ride either
So
way.
a little ancestry for us.
Okay.
Curran used to be Curran because there's an Curran Peninsula in
Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah.
Okay.
When our ancestors came over, they dropped the O because they didn't want to associate themselves with Ireland, apparently. So there you go.
Yeah, learn something new every day,
I was
Joseph.
looking for that new fact of the
Yes.
day, and now I
Yeah.
got it. This is good. This is good.
Winner, chicken dinner.
So anyways, we'll get into a little bit about who you guys are, where you're from, what you do. What do you guys got? Where are you from?
Well, we're from Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you.
That's the Cleveland, Ohio boys the man, Cleveland, Ohio boys.
Yes, it is. I mean, you go way back. Tim and I were both athletes in college, played football. We started this whole business thing in 2010?
Oh my gosh,
Forever ago. I was coaching college football. Tim had done some marketing at basically trying to sell websites.
Yes. Well, wow. Hold on. Let's think back. So I, out of college, worked for a web design marketing agency, but had an idea to create basically a web app at the time. Right. So I went to work for them to figure out as much as I could about the web business.
See, this is new to me now.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
So I took this job for about a year, understood, kind of learned a little bit about the ins and outs of the web world, and then started while Pat was coaching.
What were you coaching?
I was coaching football. I coached at two different colleges. I was at a small school, Ashland University in Ohio, and then Oberlin College. And I was at a point where I was ready to get out anyway. And then Tim came to me with this idea.
Yeah, he kept saying, he's like, "No, I hate this. I'm out." And then the one day,
Your idea or football?
No. When you were coaching,
Or
you're like,
both.
"No, I'm out. I hate this." And then finally he was like, one day we were on the phone or whatever, and he was like, "No, seriously, I don't want to do this anymore. So how can we make money?" That was it.
I wonder why I did that, because I liked it, but there's just so much just nonsense in that world.
College football world sucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
For me, not even coaching college football, I would go to the events and stuff with him. It sucks.
Yeah, it
sucks.
Yeah, it's really not that great. And I remember I was up for a job. I was up for two jobs at Ashland. And the other two guys had ties to the school, and I just knew I wasn't going to get the job, and I didn't get the job. And that's probably when it was like, all right, I'm out.
Probably. And I was in Charlotte at the time.
And how many years ago is this?
It's just 2012.
When did you move to Charlotte? Okay, so this was probably 11 then, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
December of 12.
That makes
So
sense.
it's probably 2011.
Yeah.
When we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was our first company.
Okay. And what brought you guys to LA then from Ohio and North Carolina?
Well, so we started the whole company we started initially was called Webletes. So Webletes was athletes on the web.
Dude, it was the worst to cause
Very to the point.
Yeah, it was great. If you think about it, when you're actually in the business and you have to tell a parent, hey, it's Webletes, go to webletes.com, and they're like, oh, web athletes, and you try to spell it to them, and they're like web links, and it was the worst freaking name. Don't mesh two words together and create a business and try to cold call people.
That's all. That was all on you too.
Yeah, 100%.
That wasn't me at all.
Yeah.
So we started that. We had. It was decent. We were hosting these combine camps from Chicago to Miami, and got good traction with it. But then we started Here in
17 cities our last
yeah,
time.
yeah. I mean, it was good. I
Yeah.
mean, we were making a few bucks. It wasn't bad. And then we got to a point where like we'd go to these different schools or different cities, and they'd say, like, "Can you hook us up with a trainer in this area, or can you put a workout plan for us?" We're like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then we're like, "Well, why wouldn't we just do the same thing for his mom or his sister? Like, let's do this whole fitness thing." And then we started creating a web app in 2014. I guess, yeah. Irrelevant, really.
Yeah.
But so then, I mean, so Tim had gone on these business trips. You can tell that part. But he had gone on these business trips and was like, "Fuck it, we're moving to LA." Like, and he up and went.
Can we say fuck?
We can say fuck, right?
Okay. We say fuck.
Let's
on
change
podcast,
the
bro?
setting to explicit. And we're all good to go.
Yeah, no, that part was interesting too, because so like at this point, like I was working on a lot of the business stuff, Pat was working on all the social stuff and like business and building like relationships with these trainers and stuff. And so we were living in Charlotte. I set up meetings with like these investors because we were thinking about raising some capital and working with some other companies. So I set up meetings. I went to New York, San Francisco, and LA. One like, I don't know, 11-day trip, and just set up as many meetings as I could. And I didn't think I was going to move to any of them, and we hadn't discussed moving to anywhere.
Never.
No, not.
I love Charlotte.
Yeah, I love Charlotte too. And so I get to all my meetings, and we're here in LA, and we're meeting with Disney and a bunch of other people, like NFL, a bunch of big agencies, and I'm on a flight back home, and Pat's not as fly by the seat as I am, and like where I can do something like this. Pat needs a little bit more data behind
I'm not
something.
sure that's accurate.
And so I'm on a
Anymore,
flight.
at least.
I'm on a flight back to from LA to Charlotte, and I'm like literally typing up like a page worth of reasons why we should move to LA, because I know I have to come into like a meeting with Pat prepared. And so it's like the Monday I got back, and we're sitting there or whatever, and we're just having our kind of casual talk or whatever, and I was like, I think we should. And Pat obviously knew who I was meeting with in LA and stuff, or everywhere else, and I was like, I think we should move to LA, and he's like, let's do it. And like, so that whole like hour, 2 hours of preparing was shot down the drain because he was already in. So 2-3 weeks later, we drove across the country.
Just made sense what we were getting into, and like connection wise, like you don't get that stuff in Charlotte, North Carolina, or anywhere but LA or New York. I mean, so we said, I feel let's roll.
So yeah, so we drove across the country about 3 weeks later.
Well, I guess we left. Yeah.
Nice.
3 weeks.
Something like that. Yeah.
And then how long did that run before you switched to your media company now?
Yeah, it was all organic.
Yeah, everything was. I mean, like
we were hosting these events and ran into this young lad.
He went by the name of
Joe
Mr.
Donuts.
Yeah, that's me. I have high influence on people.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So we started these events, and basically what it was is we would have trainers in the area. We have like 10 to 25 different trainers, and they'd host like
We had 30 down by the pier.
Yeah, we did.
Did you go down the pier?
I wasn't at the pier when I did the one at USC.
Okay.
Yeah, so
the
that
pier
was our-
was gangster, dude.
Yeah, it was
That
pretty
one
gangster.
cool.
Pretty gangster. So we had this. The first one was the one you were at USC, and we had 15 different trainers or so, and we put together like quick workouts and free to the people to come to, and we'd have brands pay and yada yada. It was cool, but it was very tough. We weren't making a whole lot of money, and it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it just was like,
Yeah, the whole point of doing that in the first place was it was kind of going along the model of what we were doing with high school athletes and recruiting.
Right.
But that opened up the door towards relationship building for us, which was the key because we wanted
Right.
trainers and we wanted brands. Is all we wanted. So we said, why don't we just have a big event? We'll put it on. We'll cover the cost, and we'll just have everyone together. That way we can build these relationships. But LA is a different beast than anywhere else. Like people don't travel in LA.
Yeah.
So and we didn't know that. We didn't know much about LA. So it was like, let's have an event at USC. Like we have 40,000 people right here alone, and not to mention everyone else in LA. There's millions of people, and it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, I don't travel anywhere past, let's see, what is that, east of the 405?
No,
I don't go
hell
anywhere
no.
past that.
Never.
Stay in the pocket.
Never.
Or
Stay in the
north
pocket.
of, let's see,
90,
barely north of the
90.
10. Yeah, north of the 90. Unless you're in Marina and on the west side and in a 2-mile radius, I'm not going anywhere.
I was just telling somebody yesterday, like I barely leave the complex. Our office is across the street. We're here. Whole Foods, gym, like.
I didn't understand that when I first came out.
No.
I tried setting up hangouts with friends, and they were all like, why don't you come to the Valley? Why don't you come to Hollywood? I'm like, all right, no big deal.
Yeah.
After like, a month of that, you're like, screw this. Like, this is not worth the hike. It takes you 3 hours to get to 6 miles.
And then you have to become strategic about like what time we leave. Like, all right, we're gonna hang out. I'll leave at like 3 for an 8 o'clock hangout. You know, like, so I beat that traffic. I'll just kick it at a coffee shop or something.
And going along those lines too, is when I first moved out here, I lived in Newport Beach because I thought LA was like 40 miles. I was like, 40 miles in Cleveland to Charlotte is 35 minutes on the highway, right? No,
not here.
Some rookie shit. It was like 2.5 hours. I'm like, fuck this, I'm out.
What was it? When my mom came to visit, she wanted me to drop her off at what's the train station called in downtown?
I don't know. We don't mess with the trains, bro.
Whatever, the main train station there. It's only like 12 miles, let's say. But you just put Google Maps in, it says hour and a half. You're just like, this is such a hike.
Sucks, dude. Sucks.
Yeah.
Yep. Stay in your pocket.
Right.
So now, going back to having these setups and these events, and for the purpose of making these connections, did you at the very least get these connections from those? Were you able to do it long enough where you built a network or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that happened pretty quickly. I think for us, we saw. Well, so we had that. We also had this app we were building, which is basically step-by-step workouts to follow. So we started building those connections, and then it just kind of organically happened So let me backtrack. We started shooting videos for people, so free content to put their videos, their workouts on our app. And as we got to doing that stuff, we started getting people reaching out to us like, well, can you shoot this for me for this other project I've got? Or we were pitching stuff to brands and like, we like it. So we're like, well, we started doing more straight just video content for other stuff, having nothing to do with our app. And then just from there, it grew and grew, and we kind of just let the app go, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know where she is. She's chilling somewhere on the interwebs.
Someone's going to come out with it, and you're going to say, wait, isn't that ours?
That's us. Give us $100.
No, but the reason I ask that is because one of the big things that I try to like pull from people as I do these interviews is the whole goal of this is to I'm trying to take all the naysayers, basically, all the excuse makers that are like, oh, he only got that because he's got connections. He only got that because of this, or even I have this idea, but stall. I got to wait till this is ready. I got to wait till I have the connections. I like pointing that out because it shows exactly how, like, whether that succeeded or not, you needed that to get the connections to get you to this next step, which is huge in and of itself.
Definitely. Right. Yeah, we knew nobody coming out here.
Yeah.
Like zero connections.
Right? You knew that friend you lived with and his wife. I didn't know it. Yeah. I didn't know a single person out here.
Yeah, it was. Nobody.
And I didn't have any. I just came out here with a couple of suitcases. Like, let's do it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I didn't care.
Nice.
No, we were in it.
What growing up, was there any traits you had as kids that like play a big role in who you are today? Like whether you're seeking a trait you never had and wish you had, or something you've just always had?
Not for me. I don't think. I'm trying to seek.
I think the only trait really is like the no fear, don't give a fuck type thing.
Yeah.
Like we'll reach out to anyone, we'll do anything. We're not like, it's not like talk about it type thing. It's just do it and not really care what happens.
Right.
I think that's if you can label that a trait.
Okay.
No fear.
Of course. What do you mean? That's a trait. I think like the biggest thing, we grew up where we had decent money, and then our dad had a stroke, and then we had no money, but we always like knew how to work hard. I remember I had a job at 13 or something. I was lining baseball fields, and we were talking the other day how you had 2 jobs as a freshman in college trying to buy a car. Like we just, whatever it was our dad or mom, like we just worked. So it was never like, that was never an issue. And then the not give a fuck, like if somebody says no, fine. We've heard no a billion times.
I don't really care.
And we've reached out to a billion people who've said, don't reach out to me again. And you reach out to me the 3rd time, and it works.
What is your take on rejection? Like when you hear it, I know you were saying you just kind of move on, but how do you, for the people who can't kind of wrap their head around that, they're just like, tell me no a couple of times, I cave in.
Yeah.
How do you
I think it depends on the ask. So
definitely.
Like what do you like? So think of like for example, like if you're asking investors, like give me money, obviously is the end goal. But like investors get pitched all day, every day. So like just give me money, and they're gonna say their first reaction is no. So what value do you bring? What like I always tell people is like I do research on so many different people before I even reach out. So like if I'm reaching out to an investor, for example, which I'm not, is I would do research and I'd figure out, it's the worst. But
Sucks.
I would figure out, like, maybe this person has a tie in Cleveland. Maybe his wife went to Cleveland State. Maybe they're Ohio State Buckeye fans. Maybe they live in Charlotte, North Carolina. Maybe there's some kind of tie that I could find. Maybe they like sports. Something, and I'll come in that angle as opposed to, hey, you know, like, I want $1 million. Can you give me that? Because they're going to say no. You know?
Right.
So I think it's finding that value and what is your ask? You know what I mean? Like, don't come in the front door. You know, sometimes you go on the side and back.
I love that answer too, because a lot of times when people are trying to start their venture or whatever, they just ask like in the wrong way, where they're just like, oh, hey, I want to do this. And it's like, what value are providing that person you're trying to connect with? What problem are you solving? The biggest advice I've always heard across from anyone I've interviewed or just spoken to in general is, especially if you're offering a service and you're trying to reach to someone that might be like out of your range, you better be like solving one of their problems or finding some oblique angle to come in, because you can't just expect to come in head on and they're just going to listen to you right away.
For sure.
Right.
I don't know when I started to learn that, but like I remember I quit college football and I remember reaching out to my college coaches and being like, hey, would love to, I've got this going on, would love to use you as like a reference or something like that, which just sounds so ridiculous now that people even do that. But I'd be like, God, why isn't this guy getting back to me? It's been a week. But then you realize like how many people are reaching out to the same person about the same shit. And you're like, why do they need to reach back out to me? Or like, same thing, you're asking for money. You're like, why are you different than the other 150 people reaching out to them, you know, in a day? So that's, I don't know what flipped that, but I remember thinking that and now being like, God, that's ridiculous. Like, it's so stupid.
Did you guys have any mentors growing up, or like anyone that you kind of looked up to that kind of showed you the way, I guess, like in terms of mentality and like, oh, I like the way he gets stuff done?
Go ahead.
Tim Curran? No, never.
Nope.
Never. I don't know, like growing up, for me, I think when things change is playing football in college, and I had just some badass coaches, like dudes I hated. Like Urban Meyer, who's head coach at Ohio State now, Aaron Hillman, who I think is the strength coach at Illinois now. I don't know.
He was in Florida.
And he's not there anymore. But I hated those guys. And I was a punk-ass freshman, 18-year-old football player, and they were just badasses. Like, do this is how you do it, and just taught me, like, discipline. I think that was, like, when shit changed for me. Because while I had discipline, or I thought I had discipline in, like, high school or whatever, through sports, it just changed, like, my mindset on everything. It's just having those people just on you constantly. And I think it flipped, like, after that first semester freshman year for me.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do, too, with, is like we played sports all our whole life. So, like, competitiveness, too. Like, we're just competing on everything all day, every day. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know if something, like, flipped other than just, like, we're so competitive in sports and everything else.
You just have that grind mentality of, like, I need to be working on something that progresses me and kind of...
Yeah, we're not really good at chilling.
I hate chilling.
That's not bad. That's a good thing to have.
Sometimes.
Unless you want to chill, and then
I don't know.
Backfires.
Sometimes I do want to chill, but I don't know. I'm not good at it. I'm getting better.
Getting better. Learning to woo-saw a little bit.
Meditating.
What? Explain what you guys are doing now, your business, and how it's evolved into what it is.
You want me to explain?
Yeah, you explain, Tim. You're better at this. You're the sales guy. Tim's like the sales guy.
So our business now, essentially, we basically have a content studio where we do anything from content marketing, originals. We work with a lot of distribution partners like USA Today, CBS Sports, Max Preps. Work with Fighters Only. About to do some stuff with Train for Her, a bunch of different like fitness type magazines publications that are moving over to digital now too. So we create content basically for them. So whether it's us creating a story or creating a concept or campaign and just pitching to the actual distribution partner and creating video for that, or us pitching a brand to come along with us, like for example the President's Council, which you know of. President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. It was their 60th anniversary. So in talking with them, they said, can you help us amplify our campaign? So we put together a series of short stories and health hacks that were all distributed through USA Today to 32 million people. So we did everything for that. We did the concepts, we did bringing in the influencers, we brought in the brand too, and then we just packaged it up and distributed it.
Okay. And how did you go from working with smaller names to the bigger, more recognizable names like USA Today and the President's Council and stuff like that?
Pitched them.
Yeah, we really did start small. We went straight to the top.
Like that was our first big. That was our first.
Yeah,
I mean, that was our second project.
Yeah,
USA Today.
Yeah, we knew like President's Council. Once we hooked them, we knew that was like our opportunity to go, and it's going to open up a crap ton of doors. So what we were doing was kind of.
Did you say crap ton?
Yeah,
It's a little more than a shit ton.
Explicit. Take the explicit back off.
Yeah.
You can't listen up until the first like 10 minutes. Now you can because I say crap.
Just listen
ton,
to
right?
the intro song. And
Yes.
then
Yeah.
I don't know what I was saying now.
You were saying I would.
Oh yeah, so President's
Press
Council. So we
yeah.
knew that we had hooked them. We knew that we were going to work with them, and they had a bunch of different like verbiage in their like stuff that we had to go by. And so what we were waiting for them to get done, waiting for the sponsor to approve, waiting for USA Today, but we knew that that was going to be like our big one. So we weren't like actively going out and pursuing like other smaller projects because we knew that we opened a big door with a big guy. That's going to open doors with smaller people. So we waited until that happened.
Like and basically when we were pitching stuff and sending video to people, it was like how we even got a camera was just like a bullshit thing. Like Tim had a baby almost 2 years ago and they'd asked. I don't know if you guys just put it on the thing or like you tell a story about sister-in-law.
So we got a camera by accident, which really started, which was really
right, like just bullshit.
So we got this is funny. So we got my girlfriend, her sister and brother-in-law were like, whatever you need. Her sister's like kind of like her like it's a big sister, so she like take care of her, whatever. She's like whatever you need, and so she's like, well, I really like your camera that you guys have. And so the husband had researched a bunch or whatever and bought us this, I don't know, $700, $800 camera, really nice camera. But my girlfriend had meant I like the black and white digital baby monitor camera, which is like $29. So like we get this thing and she's like, what the hell is this? And like, oh, like, do you like it? Or like, what? She's like, oh my God, like, why did you do this? And she's like, and they're like, oh, just keep it. We'll get you the other one too. So we got this camera. And so like, we're using it. And the one day I was like, I don't know, maybe it does video.
We didn't even know how to do it.
Yeah, I think it does video. So we started doing video with it.
Do you guys still use this camera?
We vlog where we haven't vlogged in a while.
I haven't used it.
We haven't
forever. I don't like using it for vlogs just because it's bulky. But
that's how it started.
But yeah, it just started, and then that's how we started shooting different people, and then we were
trainers and stuff,
and whatnot. Yeah, and like I was doing the video, and it was like I had never shot anything like maybe a little bit on an iPhone before, and it's just like let's shoot it, and just give people an idea of like concept, like here's what we want to do, and
it was more concepts.
Okay, enough that people weren't like, holy fuck, that's terrible,
But holy fuck, it was terrible.
But holy fuck, it's terrible.
The one we
look back on
we reference it probably,
or
I do probably once every other week.
It was so
this
bad.
one specifically we did, and I hope one day we dig it up.
I
Pat deleted it, but I hope
deleted
one day
it off of YouTube.
It's never to be seen again.
Yeah, because the video sucked, and then I did a voiceover, and it was just fucking awful.
Oh, it's good.
And it wasn't that long ago.
It was like yesterday.
Did you ever use that to pitch to anyone? No.
Not that one.
No.
That was bad.
So then was it just the experience of constantly filming that got you better, or you were just looking like videos up and just like
we hired Nelson.
Yeah,
there you go, Nelson. Who is
it was all this
right
was
now.
like concept type stuff. It's like give people an idea of like because we can creatively think of things and we can pitch people and we can sell people. We just can't physically edit and we don't have the camera equipment, right? So it was give people the idea of what we could potentially do, and we could sell that no problem.
And then just find yourself a Nelson and
right.
you're good to go.
Nelson, now Diego, like
building up a roster.
Yeah.
Right. In terms of goal setting, how do you guys determine like, here's what I want to be in a year, a month, a week? How do you make sure like you're constantly progressing?
I just don't like that shit. Timmy does that.
No,
we're used to. I guess.
Used to.
We just don't.
I just like it's.
Is that because it changes so much that it's not worth making a static?
Yes and no. I just feel like you set your goal like. I want to make this amount of money, or I want to do this, or I want to work with these types of people. Yeah. Like, I feel like
there it goes.
It's like not. It's not like you're trying hard enough on a daily basis just because you're trying to reach those goals. Rather than like I'm grinding all day, every day, anyways. Like I don't need a fucking goal to make money or partner with people or set the goal because I'm grinding regardless of setting a goal. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I stopped setting goals a while ago. However, with that said,
you used to try to be like the Mr. Goal Setter.
With the but with the MMA award show, we have goals to to hit as far as sales go.
Yeah.
But they're not set by us.
Yeah. That's
Right.
just someone else's standards
exactly.
that they want. Okay. What about days that, because obviously there's going to be days that are either slower, maybe earlier on, not as much now, but how do you move forward on those days that are just like, man, everything's working against us, whether it's the shooting's going bad or just the planning?
Shit goes bad all the time.
Yeah,
It
shit does
always
go bad all
has.
the time.
Like,
Yeah. And it probably still will. Well, definitely will still will.
Yeah, I mean-
and we didn't have like a slow up front. It was like, all right, we got Nelson, we got this project, like we have 90 videos to shoot in the next 6 months. Like how do we make this happen? So it was like, let's go and then figure it out from there. And then as we've gone along, we've slowly picked up other projects and more projects and different things to do. So it's never like there was ever a slow moment. As far as like things messing up, we just figure it out.
Yeah, we don't really take time to think about the
Just
stuff.
adapt as it
Yeah, they
comes.
always fuck up, and there's always things like, I mean, there's different partners, there's different brands, there's different people
Yeah.
we want to partner with. There's always people to reach out to and open up doors. So there's never like
Yeah.
an end, like, oh, I think we've done it all. Like,
No.
there's, you know what I mean? Like if we've got everything here, we'll go to another country. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's always stuff to be.
But
to be done.
that would never
Yeah.
happen. There's just so much for like what we do. There's brands starting every day. So there's somebody spending money to do something, and we're trying to get to them.
Okay.
And then like it's like again with shit fucking up, you just deal with it. Like we don't stress. I couldn't like I don't know why or what that is, but we just don't stress.
That's solid because I feel like
Ever.
other people I talk
I
to
just don't give a fuck.
We watch your
none.
language. That's the seventh fucking right?
No, that's pretty good though, because you know everyone's got their own style and way they do things, and
Yeah.
some people are super meticulous about goal setting and just like and
Right.
it works for them. That's their style.
Right,
yeah.
Other people just grind like you guys are doing, and it's cool to see that variety because I feel like especially anyone who's listening that is going to try doing maybe something similar or just their own
Yeah.
project. I don't want them to feel like, oh man, I got to be this huge goal setter that's got like a
Yeah.
passion planner and I got to do all this. If you're grinding and you're, not going backwards,
Yeah.
things will move along and you've
Yeah.
got that good hustle
Well,
mentality.
I think a lot of times people just like whatever grinding means. Like I don't know what that means, but I mean I do, but I don't. You know, a lot of people like just like to be sitting at a computer and doing something or like saying it. And like I don't know, like
the quality of work versus
Yeah.
just saying you're working.
for sure.
I mean we try to do stuff that makes sense. Like I don't like to waste my time either. Like
Yeah, of course.
when I'm doing shit, I want to be doing shit. When I'm not, I want to chill for a minute.
Have you guys ever sent in videos or done a project where when you sent it in they just weren't happy with what you sent in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is that? That's got to be a little awkward.
Not really though. Like,
Do you
it's
lose
still,
the
like-
relationship? Are they just like, yeah, we're not working with these people, or do they actually kind of like, keep you in the wing? And
No, it's
Sometimes
usually like
you gotta
with-
massage the relationship.
Yeah,
a little
Tim's
bit.
Tim's very good at that. I would be more apt to be like we could read the same email and I would be like this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And Tim would be like, all right, well here's what we got to say back to them. Like he's just very
You
good
gotta
at that stuff.
massage them up a little bit. Sometimes.
But usually it's like, hey, we don't like how this ended up or this ended up. It's never like, oh, the quality's shitty. They just didn't like how it was put together or like the order. Or, sometimes some of the people we work with are like, all right, we want you to come shoot this day at this event. And we get no direction. They might have something in their head, but they don't give it to us. So we go shoot, we put it together how we think it works. And then they come back and they're like, wait, what about this that happened or that happened? And then we just, make it work. It's not. We've never had anyone come back and be like, we don't want to work with you again.
Yeah.
Because of anything like that ever.
that's cool. That's something I've always just wondered. Was just like, what do you do when you send in work that they're just not happy with? I always wondered what the outcome or
Yeah.
how that happens.
It's never been. Yeah, it's never been that bad either, though.
Don't freak.
Yeah.
Nah, it's all good. It happens.
Is there anything in the industry that they don't tell you that you learned the hard way, or just like a weird knowledge bomb like
I
that?
don't know what industry are we in.
Media, filming, working
yeah,
with
I know.
athletes.
I would say in general, people are fucks.
That's my line though. People are fucks. Like,
Yeah.
and we're in LA. Like you get it. LA is
A little
like
bit more in LA. But
Everyone's
in
about
general.
themselves, and
That's why I
guess-
think. Yeah, that's why I think we don't stress too much about things. Like
Yeah.
we go into it knowing like people can screw you, people can chop your head off. Like,
But yeah, and for us,
but we did learn that from a few
yeah,
people. Like,
yeah. But we also like
we're
most of the
Midwest-
stuff.
We're Midwest boys.
Yeah,
We
it's
got
different.
good
That
hearts.
Ohio
Yeah,
blood.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've also learned like through that, like to not work with certain people, or like you get a vibe with someone, like all right, like so for this USA Today project, we're reaching out to influencers. I guess we're done doing that, but we've been reaching out to influencers and try to get them to do different things with us. If I get a weird vibe, I'm like, all right, I'm good. Like if I don't, and most of those people we've known or have relationships with, or know people who know people. But those randos we don't know anything about. If I get a weird vibe, it's like, all right, we're good. We don't want to do stuff with them. And we haven't had an issue. There hasn't been anyone we've worked with that we don't like, right? That I don't like. Are you about to name names?
No.
I don't know. You got somebody in mind? Text me. Who's the name?
One more.
I don't.
There's one.
I have one in mind.
Who we don't work with anymore.
No, I know like somebody with somebody. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
But everyone else is pretty cool.
Everyone's been pretty cool.
Aside from this one,
For the most part, like
a-hole.
people are fucks, and definitely like people will fuck up, will say fuck you and don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And
You just got to get past that.
yeah, like just it happens, like whatever.
happens.
You were telling me the other week, Tim, I was asking you, like,
You guys are having secret convos.
Yeah, the
most-
gym,
Yeah,
rendezvous.
we don't need DM sliding. We just, you know,
Meet up at the corner.
meet him in the corner.
Meet me at the dumpster.
Help spot me on this route.
I do. I get all sexual. Hey, bag of donuts, can you spot me on this?
One more rep. Anyways, we were talking about how I was asking like how you were, because you were in Nike, Pat.
Yeah.
And I was asking like how are you booking all these? And you were saying like on a given day, Tim, you'll send out like 120 emails to get these people. So it's like, again, like you were saying, you're going to get a lot of no's, and especially in this town, a lot of people aren't going to give a shit about you.
Yeah.
And it's just, are you willing to do that legwork to make it happen?
Well, on any given day, you'll get more crickets than anything. No one
Right.
responding to anything.
Yeah.
And they may never. You know what I mean? And that's why persistence, like you have to be, especially if you're in
Sure.
sales. Number two is you get no's. Then you get a meeting. Then you'll get yeses right away. Rarely do you get yeses right away. If you get a meeting, they're actually interested. That's all you shoot for. But yeah, most of the time it's crickets, and so that's why like out of that 120 emails, you have to. Those are follow-ups. Some of them are reaching out to new people. Some of those are the first time follow-ups. Some of them are third time follow-ups, fourth time follow-ups. I mean, I'll go. Like I'll look back one day, and there's people I've reached out to 30, 40 times at least without hearing anything and not knowing ever. Like that's emails, phone calls. Like I'll just call the fucking cops. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I'm gonna get a response.
And they've gotten back to you at some point.
Some people do it. Yeah.
And have you gotten jobs?
Just find those angles.
Okay.
But
You know what I mean?
yeah, I think one thing Tim's really good at too is finding how to get in touch with the right person, and then getting in contact information. We're dudes who have a camera that's supposed to be taking pictures of a baby, and he's pitching shit to the NFL Network. Like that shit doesn't happen, but he knows how to get to the right person, find the correct contact info, and then get them to accept the meeting.
Have you always just been good at like talking and schmoozing with people? Is that something you've always had?
Tim is a great bullshitter. He's like the dude at the bar that like all the dudes are talking to. And it's always been that way. That's not me at all. Like I'm not that way. Like I can talk all day, but that's not my vibe. But he's always been good at like talking.
Yeah.
Do you have any like stories of like how the schmoozing has either really gotten you into trouble or really hooked you up? And that could be like old.
I think I mentioned how we got in touch with the Cavs in the first place. Did I tell you about that story?
I don't know. I don't know if I know.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard it. So being from Cleveland's always top of mind when we want to do some stuff, especially with the Cavs, Browns, those type of thing. And so we had started. I think we were coming out of, we had launched Webletes, and I was just. We were in that stage where I didn't know if we were gonna raise money. We were talking to investors. We did talk to investors. We're going along the journey of a startup, right? And so I would just ping Dan Gilbert. I would send him an email, owner of the Cavs, and I would just be like, "Hey, got 1,000 users. Just want to let you know," and like not anticipating anything. And now second email, a month later, "Hey, by the way, we're at 2,500 users. I don't think there's a way we could work together right now, but we're in the sports and entertainment space. We have an app. Maybe down the road, as we grow, I'll keep you updated."
And he also has his venture capital.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of different angles, but like I'm talking to him like he's my best friend in these emails and just keeping him updated. Like he asked me to keep him fucking updated,
Which is wild in itself.
Right.
To be hitting this guy up casually.
Right. Yeah.
Billionaire.
And so finally we get up to like 20,000 users on our app. And
I think that's a little inflated.
No, we had 35.
We had 35,000?
35,000.
Jesus, fuck.
And so
Look at us.
we got up to like 20 or something, and finally he responds like, how can I help you? It was something really like quick. And so like, and then I went into more detail about like what we're doing, some future plans, blah, blah, blah. So long story short is he starts introducing me to people who he thinks could help us. So he introduced us to an incubator program in Cleveland, Ohio. He introduced us to the person running that. He introduced us to the president of the Cleveland Cavs. We actually went in there and met with him and like 3 other people in their executive suites there. Yeah. Then he's introduced me to his venture capitalist firm since then. And also one time I was like, hey, I'm going on, this is when I was in Charlotte. I was like, hey, I'm going to Los Angeles to do some stuff, blah, blah. Do you know anybody out there you can introduce me to? Like literally at this point, I still haven't met the guy. And he was like, oh, you know, my cousin's doing something, blah, blah, blah. And he introduced me to his cousin. So, like, at this point, like, I just established a relationship with him.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But now I have, you know, several contacts because of him. And a few years later, the Cavs paid us to do a project.
That's wild.
Right.
And see, and that's all just from hitting him up. That all started just from throwing some emails
just
or pinging him.
Yeah, it takes me 10 seconds to write a freaking email. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's not...
Tim Ferriss did a big thing on that where... or it was like an assignment when he was in Princeton, something like that. He was saying where the only assignment was find someone you'd like to talk to that seems out of reach. Like it could be the CEO of Google or something like that. And your only goal was to just, you know, get a hold of him, or you just reach out to him. You don't even have to necessarily get a hold of him.
Yeah.
The teacher just wanted to see that you reached out. And he said, I think like more than half the class just didn't even bother because it was like, how am I going to
reach out?
How am I going to reach this? And I think they misread that like all you have to do is reach out. So like, how am I going to get a hold of this guy? This makes no sense.
Yeah.
So no one did it, and I think Tim was one of the ones that did do it. And he did. I forgot who he reached out to, but he got a hold of it. And there was a couple lessons he learned there. One was just like he was surprised at how easy it was to actually reach out to someone who you'd think was impossible.
Yeah.
2, look how easily people dismiss something when there could actually be a huge return, as we're hearing right now from you guys. And it's just like, that blew my mind just hearing that something as simple as just emailing someone.
Yep. Another funny story about that.
Come on, tell
Not
us.
about the Cavs, but it was probably a little bit. It was before that. So you wouldn't even live in Charlotte yet, and so we were building Webletes still, earlier stage from the last story, and it was right around the time where the Browns were being put up for sale. And this happened really so fast. Dumb. This is really dumb, but I was like, I'm sitting in my living room one day, and I was like, and I read something that like, hey, you know, 2 people are making offers on the Cleveland Browns. So I was like, fuck this, I'm getting in on this. So I called the Cleveland Browns office, and then at the time the owner was Randy Lerner. So I was like, hey, can I speak to Randy Lerner? And they're like, yeah, who is this?
Mind you, what do you have in the bank account?
$28.
Couple bucks,
nothing. Right. And so, the whole goal was to get exposure for Webletes was the idea.
Right.
And so I called and they're like, oh, who is this? I was like, Tim Curran with Webletes. And they're like, okay. So they send me into whoever else, you know, next in line or whatever. And the guy's like, yeah, who is this? Who, you want to talk to Randy? I was like, yeah. Like, okay, send me the next guy. The next guy answers the phone. And I was like, yeah, is Randy available? He's like, yeah, wait, who is this? And I was like, Tim Curran with Webletes. No, man, no, not interested. Click. So he clicks on it. Yeah, clicks on it.
I didn't know that shit.
So I'm like, all right, fuck this guy. So I look up, I have an email list of every publication and newspaper in Ohio. I sent a press release out saying that Tim Curran, the founder of Webletes.com, is now has thrown his hat into the ring and making an offer for the Cleveland Browns. Like this big, and I made up an email address and sent it from my secretary at the time.
Oh my God.
Which I didn't have a secretary.
Right.
It was a fake email address.
Yeah.
And I sent this press release out, and I said, you know, anyone interested, call it was my cell phone number. Within minutes, I got a phone call from the top Cleveland Browns reporter, Mary Kay Cabot. Yeah, still from the Plain Dealer, which is like the LA Times in here, but in Cleveland. And she's like, hey, I got the press release. I want to interview Tim Curran, blah, blah, blah. And so, like, I'm like, holy shit, like, that was fast. And so I called my cousin up, who was a good bullshitter as well. And I think he was, like, studying to be an attorney at the time or something. I don't know. And so I was like, you need to bullshit and pretend like you're my manager because I can't call back if I'm this big time. I'm not talking to a reporter.
Right.
So, like, pretend you're my manager. And so he's like, hey, I'm on a boat right now. I'm kind of drunk. I'll do it on Monday. So he calls me on Monday, and he's like, I think this is illegal. And I was like, who gives a shit? Just, like, you know, call him or call it back. Let's get some pub here. And so he finally delayed until Tuesday, and then Tuesday they were bought by whoever owns them now. So they made that press release. So like I couldn't get the actual press release out. But the effort was there.
The effort was there on my end, for
Definitely
sure.
the effort was there.
You might have been able to get him for $28.
Yeah, I was going to make some kind of offer. And I'm sure it was not going to be happy.
Maybe like an IOU or something.
Yeah.
Right.
The bank can give you a loan.
Get a couple credit cards out.
I'd love to see that conversation at the bank. I just put in a bid for the round.
I need an extra $1.9 billion.
Yeah, they just said I put my hat in the ring.
Yeah.
Can I just put a hat with no money in the ring?
Right.
Ignore the part where they said I was on a boat. I don't have a boat, so don't try and look into that either.
Right.
That's crazy. So then, obviously, you guys are hustlers. You're good workers. What do you think holds most people back from
Fear. Just like your example with like the Ferris, like you just reach out to somebody and 50% of them didn't even reach out. Like, that's a fear.
I think that's part of it. I think people are just lazy as shit.
Yeah.
Like they just don't want to do anything. Like so they don't like, oh, I want to do this, but then they don't put in any effort to do it.
It's this it's the social media era. It
is.
I think it's because there's a couple people that may have lucked out, just getting Instagram famous or whatever it is. And even if it was only 3 people that made it.
Instagram famous is just famous
Instagram
though.
That's true.
I don't love those terms.
True.
Like social media stuff.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Because you're just it,
But maybe they were just hot or they just hit it at the right time. And people like to cling on to those people and just say, well, if you can just take some pictures and make some fitness videos, I should be able to get. Yeah. Instead of looking at maybe that wasn't even the case. Maybe they did have good timing, but they also hustled like crazy to edit and shoot all those videos.
Yeah. I mean, we've met a lot of those types of people who have millions of followers and they're making millions of dollars to sell their guides and do video shoots and get paid by brands and a lot. The people that are really good work really hard at it too, or they have a team behind them that works really hard. It's not just they throw some stuff up one day and it looks kind of okay, and you're like, that's all they did today was take one workout video. No, they did a lot behind that, and then they're going in and commenting back to all those people that comment, and they're reaching out to other people and doing collabs, and there's a lot more that goes into that one post than you think.
Yeah, I've noticed that they'll have their initial whatever gets them the followers, but then it's they've got a clothing brand too. Oh, they've also got supplement or whatever it is, or programs. The smart ones really have a whole empire that takes it even away from once they get too old and they're no longer a face or whatever.
I can't think of anybody who has, and correct me if I'm wrong, but anyone that we've worked with who is making good money that doesn't have a team behind them. If you look at all the top influencers we worked with, they all if it's just their husband or boyfriend or girlfriend, they all have somebody with them. It's not just them. So. It's not as simple as it seems.
So now that your business is growing, if you guys one day have an internship program or a mentorship, and people were trying to apply, someone's listening to this and they're like, man, I'm gonna hit one of those Currans up and I'm gonna say, hey,
I want those DMs,
bro. I want to work.
Pat's more the DM, obviously. That's how you know.
For anyone who does want to hit him up, just hit up Pat.
Just DM me all day.
He'll get you all
day. But you know how many people? And we'll get back to your question, Justin. Of course. But you know how many people I've talked to that I've just DM'd? Most of the, maybe I don't know if it's most, but 35% at least of the people that we've worked with, it's just me DMing them hey, we got this idea. Hey, we have this idea. Blah, blah, blah. And then somebody gets back to me or hey, email me here or email the team's email. It's just throwing out DMs, which is a lot of people are that's bullshit or you're just trying to holler at chicks. I never do that. Never. It's just looking and getting to people's DMs business-wise. Here's this idea. Because a lot of people check them. Even if they have millions of followers, they check their DMs. They read their comments. They're glued to it like everybody else is.
That's just a matter of when they give you that quick read to show that, is this guy actually saying something that sticks out to me versus everyone else.
As I say, it goes back to the value. They're not going to do it just to do it. How does it benefit them?
It's funny because Pat lives in the DM world and I'm email world.
Right.
And so he'll ask me hey, he'll ask me how to send emails and I'll ask him how to DM. What should I say? What's the lingo?
What are the kids saying now?
Now you gotta figure out
I'm a dinosaur
snap video oh, hey guys, 10 seconds, want you for this project.
I know.
Yeah. It would be really cool.
Yeah.
Really though. But and so to talk about interns, we've had interns.
Okay.
We've had some really shitty interns. A lot of shitty interns.
Just lazy or
the majority of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And part of that is definitely us, either not giving enough guidance or picking the wrong people or something we've done. But we've had some good ones too. I think it's tough
finding good interns for sure, because it's free work.
Yeah, I think if like all an intern has to do is like ask questions and work hard, and then you'll be okay. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, as an intern, you're not an expert. You're not like you could know nothing about the industry or business at all. And if you work hard and ask questions, you're going to be okay.
Right.
You need the potential to
just want to.
That's all. It's fairly simple.
Yeah.
And you might not want to do it after, but like to be able to do those things is not a hard thing to do.
No, everyone can do it.
Yeah.
Right.
What is what's coming up for you guys? What's like the next, like the biggest goal, or what is even like your end goal?
Are you trying to get our secrets right now?
Right, dude.
Yeah, if you can just give me a blueprint.
The biggest thing I think we're working on right now is the World MMA Award Show.
Yeah.
So that's
well, even just talk about how we got that. Do you remember how we got that?
Yeah. So one of the people we worked with for a few years had made an introduction. She's known the guy who runs the World MMA Award Show for even more years, and the guy said, "Hey, like I need help with this award show. I need to make more money. I need to do more promotions. I need to do marketing. It needs to be a better event altogether. Do you know anybody?" She said, "You need to." She called me at like 7 o'clock on a Saturday night after she talked to him. I was like, "You need to talk to him." I called him the next day. He was on a flight. He lives in the UK. He was in LA like 2-3 days later or something like that, meeting with us.
He had changed his flight. He was where was he? He was in
Vegas
going to meet with some people in Boise, and then was like, all right, I want to meet with these dudes, because she gave such a good.
She gave us like two thumbs up. You have to work with us, and like literally it was like we hit it off with him in like a 2-hour meeting, and we're good.
We've already shot 3 projects for them.
Yeah.
For other stuff for his magazines. We'll finalize a deal for some other stuff hopefully soon, and then we're working on the World MMA Awards.
Yep, which is February of next year, but
yeah,
lining up all the brands, all the promotions needs to be done now, leading up to it. So that's a massive overhaul for us.
Right.
That's awesome. That's a great venture to take on.
Yeah.
How do your parents feel about it? Where you've come from to where you're at now? Are they
Mommy
like
and Daddy are so proud of us.
Yeah, they're more pissed because we don't tell them anything. We literally don't tell them anything.
I'll just what I do, because I post all of our stuff, so I'll just make sure I send them the YouTube stuff we do. And I'm like, no, our dad doesn't do technology at all. So usually when I send the YouTube, he struggles with that. But for my mom, I'm like, just watch my Snapchat or like Instagram story. You'll get an idea of like what we're doing. It's also would be tough to be like, hey mom, we're doing this today. Like whatever it is. One, it changes every day. And like whatever we started to do today, the day totally changes throughout the day. So like it's not like we're planning ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, I hate talking about like what we're about to do or things that's in the pipeline, because things always go wrong, things don't happen, they don't happen fast enough. So like, especially like someone like your mom who gets so excited about every little thing you're doing. Like if we told her everything, like she'd be going nuts every day. Yeah. So like we just tell her after the fact, like, oh, by the way, here's the video that we did 3 months ago. Like, you know, it's just better for everybody.
Yeah. Should just do a whole series on her, following her around.
Oh, mother would love
her worried about what we're doing.
Oh my god, what's going on?
With your daughter thrown in on that.
Yeah.
That would be funny. The thing I like to close with is the mind action gap. It's that whole idea to taking action. We kind of touched on it before. If you each had to give one piece of advice of like, if there's someone listening, he's got an idea of what he wants to do. It doesn't matter what it is, but he's just, like you said, he's being lazy. He's not kicking into gear. What would be the first actionable step he or she could take to close that gap?
Do it. Do something.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm a lot quicker than Timmy is. Like, I'll just be like, fuck it, let's do it.
For some things, like things that like could alter a business, no, I like to sit back and think about. But I think just to do something, like reach out to one person. I think when you talk about it, you're held more accountable too. Just like how some people like post on Instagram with like their weight loss or stuff like that. Like the first thing I did when I went to Charlotte, I moved to Charlotte. Everyone was talking about this guy, like, oh, you can't meet with him. He's like he sold a company for like $50 million. He's like the elite guy, blah, blah, blah. I went on Twitter and I just said, hey, I just moved to Charlotte. I got a startup. Can you meet tomorrow? Or can you meet for coffee? He said 7:30 tomorrow morning. I met him at like, just reach out to one person and that'll get the ball moving. That'll get the more, get you motivated. That'll at least get you held accountable and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Just reach out.
I put a lot of our stuff out there, and I like talk about different things we're doing, and then so I get a decent amount of like friends. I don't get like random people so much, but friends that'll be like, I'm trying to change this or do this, but I don't know what to do. I'm just like, just do something. Like start the process. I got a friend who like hates her job and she wants to get into like fitness, so I will do something tonight. Like do something tonight to start that process. I'd imagine 10 days later, she probably hasn't done anything, and it's not going to change. So just do it.
I had that problem a lot even with this.
You son of a bitch.
Oh my God, how long
I was on you about
it?
it.
That was a couple months. That was a process.
Definitely. And now you're doing it.
Yeah.
You travel the world too.
Yeah, got a little busy traveling.
Yeah.
You know, living that life.
Donuts around
Checking
the
out
world.
prospects.
You
That's
could have
what I
taken
do.
this with you and interviewed someone over in Spain or whatever.
In Spanish.
I want to. That's where I'm headed. I'm headed towards going global and interviewing people, seeing how the cultures affect their mindset versus like how we do it over
That'll
here.
be
and
cool,
whatever.
yeah.
I think that'd be cool. But that's awesome.
I've never left the country.
Damn, really?
Yeah. I mean, I've been to Canada.
No,
Canadian. Yeah. That doesn't
Seriously?
count, though. I just got a passport like a month ago.
Oh,
Tim, have you left?
I've been to Mexico.
Oh, God.
See?
We do the whole thing.
Mic fall.
And then the mic falls. That's on you, Timothy.
No, that was the mic drop. I've been to Mexico.
There you go. Boom.
And we're out of here.
Yeah.
You guys got to go somewhere. You guys
Yeah. I don't know. We're not
Got
going
time to travel, man.
anywhere.
We're just busy folk.
I got. Yeah, we'll do something. Well, we have partners right now. Well, partners-ish in Japan and the UK, and one of our partners was going out to Japan. So there's always like potential for something to happen.
They wanted us to
business-wise
go to the
travel.
UK, and we said that's too long to travel right
Yeah.
now. So we're meeting the guy in
Just to
Boston
meet.
in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too far.
That's right. That's right. You were telling
Yeah.
me about that.
Yeah.
Nice. That's about it. Social. What's your social handles? Way to reach you guys.
At Joe_bag of donuts. Curranmedia.co is our website. Curran Media Co.
Can you spell
Instagram,
Curran? People know how to spell
YouTube,
Curran. That's
Twitter,
Curran
Facebook.
as in Nancy, MEDIA, C as in cat, O.
I love how
think
the
it
N and the C were very specified on how to pronounce
Yeah, I
it.
guess when you say Curran, I don't enunciate well. So when you say Curran, I guess people would.
No, I would get the KERN a lot.
Yeah. I definitely got that.
Yeah.
See, I have a friend with the last name Karen, and I specifically know to go Karen.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
Interesting.
awesome.
That's how I spell it.
Yes, donuts.
You guys want to do my outro music?
Yeah.
Send me off.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. Tune in
Thank you,
next time.
Joseph.
There he goes, Mr. Bag of Donuts.
Thank you, Joseph. And we're out this motherfucker.
Nice.